Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jeremy Myerson. I'm Director of the Helen Hamlin Centre at the Royal College of Art. We're a multidisciplinary group of architects, designers, engineers, and anthropologists, Lucy. But I am in a place which has a very old-style view of designing for people. In 1955, Henry Dreyfus wrote a famous book called Designing for People, and he followed it up with The Measure of Man. And it was a top-down view of how you design for people, and that's been the way in the production economy, I would argue, for the last 55 years, or 65 years. People are passive, people are test subjects, and it's all about the form giving of the designer, their skill, and they infer needs from studying users, even though the techniques for studying users, rapid ethnography and so on and so forth, have got more sophisticated. We're now, thankfully, moving into an era where we move from designing for people to designing with people, and DOT, I think, is part of that. Active co-creation. People are active participants in the process rather than passive test subjects. Needs are translated rather than just inferred. And instead of it being all about the form of the object, it's all about creating tools and processes. The question that I want to ask you is, can we make the next step? And what does that mean for authorship for designers? Can we go from designing for people, the traditional view, through designing with people, the emerging practice, towards designing by people? If you think back to Walter Siegel and his self-built houses, allowing people to make their own choices, a lot of people, including some researchers in my area, are designing participatory games, especially in the built environment. And I must say, I violently agreed with Nabil Hamdi on his first assumption about the changing scope of design practice. I thought that was brilliantly put. Can we move to designing by people, in which we're not inferring needs or translating needs, people are having their own self-recognized needs. But what it means for designers is that they're creating a platform and a vision, not even tools and processes or finished objects. And that involves a fundamental shift in practice, the meaning of practice and the education of practice. Are we ready to make that change? And that's something I'd like to pick up in the later debate.